If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day.
Gotta remain hydrated. Oh, and it's nice tasting water too. It's got a hint of peat because this used to be a bottle of Kalila. I had a bit of a peat flight yesterday. I had some Kalila, I had some Ardbeg Kelpie, and I had some Compass Box No Name, and I finished those 3 bottles. They all had about that much left in them, so it was time to finish them off. This one here is one that I'm coming back to after almost 3 months since I first tried it, and I've been putting a bit of a dent on this just to see if I liked it, and I keep putting dents into it to see if I like it. And now after 3 months, well, if it hasn't opened up enough, it never will. So I'm going to give it a try and see how well the Deanston 18 has fared. It's unchill filtered, and it's not colored from what I can. I guess it's not. It's bourbon cask finished. So, does that mean that it was also bourbon cask aged the whole time? What you have in your hand is the very best that nature, knowledge, and patience can provide. Unchill filtered, it retains all of the natural flavor and character. Take some good glasses, a small jug of cold spring water. When you sip a dram of Deanston, you share a distillation of perfection. The perfect times are few and far between. It doesn't say it's uncolored. Nothing added but hard work and determination. Well, maybe it's probably not colored. So nothing added. It's just the real thing. It's got a nice ex-bourbon nose. This is the style of whiskey that I really enjoyed back when I was getting into single malts, or when I was getting more serious about whiskey 4 or 5 years ago and getting into single malts more than, your Glenlivet and your Glenfiddich. And what other single malts had I had up to that time? Maybe Talisker. I had a singleton of Achrusk. I had Cragganmore at one time. I had had a few single malts before. Naturally, I had the peated ones like Lafroig and Ardbeg and Lagavulin. But I enjoyed this kind of thing before I was shown the ways of sherry, or before I discovered for myself sherry. I would stay away from sherry casks as much as possible because they tasted like wine after all. I didn't know the subtleties and the nuances and the spicy characters you could get out of there, and the chocolate notes and the licorice notes and the figs and dates and raisins, sultanas, the things you get out of sherry cask. But this is just lovely, lovely to nose. It's somewhat woody, a touch on the sour side, at least from my perspective. Hiding under there, there's some caramel, toffee, is it bottled at 46.3% alcohol by volume? So I'm just getting a hint of alcohol on the nose, along with the caramel and vanilla from the bourbon, ex-bourbon barrel. It's a bit woody. I'm just enjoying the nose. It's not that complex. It's straightforward. Here it is, bourbon barrel aged whiskey for 18 years. Was it a first fill bourbon barrel? I don't know. Could be. It's got some color to it. And if that's natural color, then yeah. If it were 10 years, it would be a lot lighter. Okay, let's go for taste. Bourbon barrel. I'm getting spices from the wood, some tannins. It's quite astringent, it's quite dry. That was the first sip. I remember when I first made this the video of opening this bottle and trying it, somebody commented, "You're trying so hard to like this." It has opened up since then. It has. It's just straightforward, woody, spicy from the wood. Could have been first fill. Could have been first fill. What happens if I add a little bit? Well, wait a minute. Should I compare it to the Deanston Virgin Oak? Deanston Virgin Oak was finished in Virgin Oak. Non-age statement. 46.3% alcohol by volume, just like the other one. Should I do that? Well, let's pour a dram and see what happens. This one's been open for a considerably longer time. Just a wee bit for the flavor. Here's the Virgin Oak. Oh yeah. Much more wood here. Here I'm getting door planings and pencil shavings. And rich wood. Where the wood in the 18 is kind of muffled, if that makes sense at all. Here I'm getting spices. And here I'm getting more caramel and vanilla. But similar spices. Here the wood is more, it's aged, it's used. You can tell. It's not as fresh as the Virgin Oak. Now I think I should add some water to this. Because just a tiny little bit. It's about 4 standard drops right there. Whatever a standard drop is. Oh. With the addition of a bit of water, I think it's opening it up. What kind of legs do we have? We got some legs. They're moving down slowly. Slowly. This one needs time. Take your time nosing it. Take your time tasting it. Take your time. Not a lot of complexity. Just spices from the wood. I'm getting less caramel now that I've added water. And less vanilla, at least on the nose. Where it seemed to open it up earlier, now I'm just getting less. I'm gonna taste that. Woody spices. Woody spices. Along with the woody spices, which hang on for a while. It's just very astringent. It's dry, and I would have expected to get a little bit more vanilla and caramel out of it, but I'm not getting so much vanilla and caramel as spices. Tannins, I guess you could call them. Just those spicy woody notes. I would have expected more flavor out of this, really. But nothing here really thrills me. There's a bit of toffee on the nose. A bit of caramel on the nose. Yes, once again, I'm wanting to like this a lot. But you know, here we are going back to the virgin oak. This one here, which doesn't have much left. There's just so much more going on here. I'm getting some orange, some fruit, some orange, some nectarine, mandarin oranges. And the wood flavors are vibrant and strong and right in your face. But the 18 is so much more muted and muffled, and I have to try hard to get anything out of it. Water doesn't help it much. And to be quite honest, I think I preferred the Deanston 12 to the Deanston 18. It's just, I don't know, somehow lacking. I thought that letting it sit for a while, 3 months should be ample, would have made it better. Now after the addition of water, it's not better. I'm just getting a bitterness in the finish. It's astringent. It's very mouth-watering. It's very drying. And then I get bitterness. On the nose now, there's caramel again. Some vanilla. Will I be rewarded now that I've gone for over 20 minutes with this guy? And added water. Oh, come on. Yep. Now I'm just getting bitterness. I'm not getting much complexity. I'm not getting a lot of caramel or vanilla. I'm just getting bitterness. I hate to say it, but I'm somewhat disappointed by this Deanston 18. Definitely disappointed. I preferred the 12 and the virgin oak right here. Yeah, definitely. Sad to say, this wasn't really for me. Slanchova.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
The video you just saw was shot about 2 weeks ago. And I could have left it at that, but my curiosity kept me going. Why did this whiskey not live up to my expectations? Well, it so happens that shortly after shooting the video, I saw a video by Ralphie Mitchell, and he did a Deanston 15. And I'm going, oh, okay, Deanston 15, all right. That's the new one that just came out in their lineup. And he added quite a bit of water to it. And I thought, I even commented, I said, I tried the same thing with Deanston 18 and it didn't do much good. Then, because my curiosity was going, I thought I would look at his Deanston 18 video. And here is what I ended up doing with my Deanston 18. I poured a fresh dram of Deanston 18. And after pouring that fresh dram of Deanston 18, it was a quick size dram. It was 50 milliliters. It was about so much. I figured out that I should add 3/4 of a teaspoon based on how big a pour Ralphie made and how he put half a teaspoon into his. Okay. 3/4 of a teaspoon, 50 milliliters of whiskey, good to go, right? No. I put it down and I left it there. I went and washed all my dirty glasses. And that took me quite some time. That took about half an hour to wash all my dirty glasses. And when all my dirty glasses were washed, I came back to my dram of Deanston 18. Then I realized that it had opened up on the nose. There was a lot of ginger there that hadn't been there before. There were a lot of other complex flavors going on. I don't remember exactly what they were. I'd have to pour another glass, put 3/4 of a teaspoon in of water, and let it sit for half an hour and come back to it, and then I could give you my fresh interpretation of it. I'm not going to do that. Suffice it to say that the whiskey was really good. Finally, half an hour and 3/4 of a teaspoon with 50 mils of whiskey. If you happen to have a bottle of Deanston 18, take your sweet time with it, because it's not going to reveal its secrets very easily. Slunchava.